I feel like revisiting Babylon 5. Although I'm happy with my original list, I feel like giving a shout out to 5 more great episodes, which should have been honourable mentions at least. Number 1, and now for a word. I gave this episode a shout out in my top 10 Battlestar Galactica episodes video, and for good reason. Getting a chance to see regular characters and stories from an outside perspective is always cool. An episode of EarthBased news show ISN documents a typical day in the life of Babylon 5, calling into question how successful the noble mission of the station has really been. With a fictional documentary at their disposal, the creative team takes every opportunity to delve further into and examine themes and characters of the show. Sheridan, knowing the real reason why the Minbari surrendered at the Battle of the Line, makes him hostile to the growing pro-human attitudes of the government. Delenn confronting the unintended consequences of her well-intentioned transformation, and dozens of other juicy tidbits to enrich the show and characters going forward. But what's most enjoyable about this episode is the sense of fun. Although the ISN report deals with some serious subject matter, a tongue-in-cheek humour is injected every now and then, such as Ivanova refusing to engage with the report, and the fake personality of the presenter dropping every now and then in select moments to add to her character. It's an episode which tackles the show from a new perspective, but one which enhances the viewing experience going forward. Number 2 comes the Inquisitor. Fearing that Delenn may not be up to the task of defending the galaxy in the coming Shadow War, the Vorlons dispatch a sinister Inquisitor to examine the heart of her character. Babylon 5 is often defined as a chronicling of history, the rise and fall of empires, and because of that, most of the episodes fall into a recognizable mold. But Comes the Inquisitor is one of the few times Babylon 5 got truly bizarre and conceptual in its stories. I mean, this is a story which reveals that Jack the friggin' Ripper was abducted from Earth centuries ago and is now used by a godlike alien race as an existential interrogator of historically pivotal individuals. This is something you'd expect from Neil Gaiman or some Doctor Who episode, not from J. Michael Straczynski. But it absolutely works. Although Mira Furlan excels with the material, guest star Wayne Alexander totally owns this episode. Creepy in appearance, deeply threatening, and enjoyably over the top, speaking with a remarkably convincing English villain accent. After only one episode, this incredible performance places Sebastian in the gallery of best Babylon 5 antagonists for me personally, and is reason enough to watch the episode. But it's also the dark setting and stark lighting which helps highlight and emphasize the esoteric nature of the narrative. Babylon 5 rarely went this truly weird, but on this occasion, they hit it out of the park. Number 3, and the Rock cried out, no hiding place. As the rivalry between Londo and Lord Rifa reaches breaking point, Londo hatches a plan to finally deliver Jakar to the Centauri Emperor as proof of his superiority. There's something so satisfying about a truly unpleasant character getting their comeuppance. While other characters in the show were certainly villainous, they often hold some degree of respect, if not menace. But Lord Rifa is the scheming, self-centered aristocrat everyone loves to hate. He isn't half as smart as he thinks he is, and yet he's constantly smug about all the power which he has, despite never having had to work for any of it. When Jakar is seemingly ambushed, the audience has their hearts in their mouths, and then their fists in the air when Londo's brilliant trap is unveiled. This is a quintessential Babylon 5 plotline, with backdoor schemes and double crosses, capped off with an immensely satisfying finale, and woven together with nuanced and enjoyable character development. Great stuff. Number 4, the illusion of truth. And now for a word turned on its head. ISN reporters are found attempting to smuggle filming equipment onto the station in order to make a story about Babylon 5. Although hesitant at the idea of the now state-controlled news network making a propaganda piece, the ISN team ultimately convinced Sheridan they can get the truth out there in one form or another. The climax of the episode is obviously the betrayal, as Sheridan and co view the report which has distorted the truth into the shameless propaganda piece they feared from the beginning. While the previous ISN report from Season 2 was a little cynical, it was balanced overall in its presentation of the station. However, under President Clark, a grand conspiracy is fed to the audience involving human suppression and alien supremacy. What makes the final report so frustrating to watch is the audience's inside knowledge of what's actually going on, and the clear ways in which the truth has been distorted to further a pre-written narrative. Whereas the first ISN report had a sense of fun and poignancy, the outcome of the illusion of truth is yet again a reflection of troubling eras of human history. Number 5, Zhadum. How I didn't put this on my original best episode list is beyond even me. When Sheridan's wife seemingly comes back from the grave, beckoning him to the Shadow homeworld, he is compelled to go even for the slightest chance at peace. This was the season finale which left Babylon 5 fans with their jaws on the ground. Much of the runtime is the slow, dread-filled build-up to this utterly gobsmacking climax. Anna Sheridan's return catches everyone off guard, filling the atmosphere with a sense of uncertainty and morbid curiosity. Everything builds up into those final minutes of Sheridan executing his suicide mission gambit, intercut with his goodbye message to Delenn to deliver a breathtaking, heartbreaking season finale to cast a heavy sense of uncertainty and foreboding over the stories to come. Once again, I'm very lucky I was able to binge this show on DVD. To those who had to wait a year after Zhadum, I can't imagine how you coped. And that's the end of this chapter. If you like this video, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all my new uploads. Over on my Patreon, you can see videos up to a week early. Speaking of such, I'd like to quickly thank my patrons T. Stoney, Andy Luke, L. Carton, Larry Bennett, Millie Coleman, Snezhana Markova, and Chris Lord. Are there still more Babylon 5 episodes which you think I missed? If so, comment down below. Until next time, have a good one, and as always, live long and prosper.